Well, welcome back to Inside Sports. I'm your host, Chris Marks, and today we have a special show for you, joined by Prince George's native and Baltimore Orioles outfitter L.J.Hoes. L.J., thank you for being on the show here today.
Thank you for having me.
And now, before we came on, you said this is not your first time here at CTV on a show. Just talk about that real quick before we get into the baseball.
I was 10 years old. I had just played basketball. Well, I played AAU basketball team called Maryland Rising Stars. We had just went to Orlando and won the national championship. And we had come on TV, CTV, for an interview. And I was just talking with you, like you said before the show, and just remembering like walking through the hallways and stuff as a little kid and sitting in the waiting room, like, wow, like all the memories, came back to me and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm just glad to be back here.
It's awesome, and we're happy to have you here today. And, of course, we're here to talk about baseball because this year you made it to the Baltimore Orioles, but you said you played basketball, you played baseball, you played football, but you wanted to go the baseball route. Talk about why you chose the hardball.
Baseball was just something I loved. It was something I was good at, something that I knew I could do as a future. And when I was young, I played basketball, I played all sports, just played soccer, played everything, just because my dad wanted me to be able to have whatever I wanted to do. And so, I just decided to play baseball because I like playing baseball. I was good at it. So it was just something that I saw myself doing as a future.
You played in high school, but you started right here in Upper Marlboro, Largo area with Riverdale Baptist and Coach Terrell. Talk about your time there.
I started going to Riverdale Baptist when I was in 5th grade. I left when I was in 8th grade. I played middle school baseball, played JV baseball there, and actually when I was in 8th grade, I was fortunate playing varsity baseball there. And Coach Terrell is a great coach. I learned so much over there. I was just thankful for the opportunity that they gave me to be over there and and develop my baseball career. And just being there and being in that program is is known nationally. It's known around this area as being one of the best baseball programs around. And just to be able to be there and have the opportunity to play there was definitely a blessing.
Now you transferred to St. John's, played baseball there. Comment on the time there and how that helped mold you into the pro player.
Just St. John's, a lot of my friends went there, played basketball, played football, stuff like that, and they were saying like, St. John's is good. St. John's is just a great opportunity for you. It's a great time for you to grow and develop, and the education was very good. So my family and we sat down, we talked about it, and made the decision to go to St. John's. And the baseball coaches there, Mark Gibbs and Ed Gibbs, were tremendous. They helped me out so much, just teaching me the knowledge about baseball. Just teaching me the ins and outs. Because Mark, Kevin, they play professional baseball, so they knew this is something that I wanted to do. So they came and said, look, if you want to be able to do this, come to our school. We'll teach you what you need to learn to be able to do it, and that's what they did.
Now you had an excellent career there. Headed into your senior year, you had a chance to go to college, North Carolina, ACC program, wanted you to come play. But then you get drafted by the Baltimore Orioles. Talk about that dilemma. Do I go play in college or do I sign with the hometown team who I've always loved?
North Carolina has been my dream school, ever since, I've been little. I've seen, Antoine Jameson, Vince Carter, I knew they were sponsored by Nike, Jordan, and all that stuff like that. And just, at the time, they were like #1 in the country. They had been going back to College World Series. They've almost won the national championship 2 years in a row. Came short, and just like, wow, well, do I go here? My roommate was supposed to be there. We played summer baseball together, and it was definitely tough because it was just I have a great opportunity of going to North Carolina, getting a great education, being at a great school, or do I stay at home and play for the Orioles? And it was just ultimately my family sat down. My mom had just at the time my mom had just got cancer, breast cancer, so it was I wanted to be home, wanted to be close to her and stuff like that. So with that happening and me getting drafted by the Orioles, just a tremendous opportunity. And I've been familiar with the organization and been a fan since I was a young kid, and that's what I wanted to do. So I decided just to go ahead and play professional baseball.
How did the draft happen? Did someone call you on the phone and tell you, hey, we're going to pick you in this round? Or what is the process of being drafted into the pros?
You have your pre-draft workouts. You go to Milwaukee has one. Every team has one. Mm-hmm. So you decide. You get your interest. You talk to your advisor, your agent at the time, and see what teams really want you. And you decide, well, I'm going to go to this pre-draft workout, I'm going to this pre-draft workout. So, I went to 3 or 4 pre-draft workouts, and then the day of the draft, the Orioles actually called me probably around 9 o'clock. They were like the first phone call I got that morning. And they were like, who's going to take you today? And I was like, well, Milwaukee's talking about they're going to draft me. So I was like, if you guys want to take me, but, this is what it is. And I remember just sitting there, I had a a big family gathering for the draft, and a lot of my close family and friends were there. And the draft was on TV, and I remember I left to get some ice cream. My dad was like, the Orioles just called, like, hurry up and get back here. And I was like, okay. So I came back, and it was around 3:45, 4 o'clock, and we were watching the computer because I was upstairs. We had the TVs and stuff on, and my name came across the screen. It was like the Baltimore Orioles selected, L.J.Hoes. And it said second base, and I was like, wow, this is maybe the wrong person. And then they called me and were like, look, we just took you, like, you're an Oriole. And I gave my dad a big hug and went outside and told everybody.
That has to be one of the most outstanding things.
Yeah, yes, it was. It was definitely, I was so happy. My whole neighborhood was there, and I remember I just dropped my phone and gave my dad a big hug and ran outside and just yelled, and everyone knew what happened. So it was cool.
So you can't beat that. So you get drafted, you sign the pro contract, you go from high school to the pros, and would you start rookie ball?
Yes.
What was that jump like?
It was tough. It was tough because you go from in high school, you're playing 2-3 times a week. You're playing Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and you maybe face one good pitcher a week. And then you go into professional baseball, and it's every single day. You're up at GCL, you're up at 6:30 in the morning. You have practice at 8:30. So you go to the field, you eat breakfast, you do what you gotta do, get your treatment, do whatever you have to do, and then you have practice at 8:30. 8:30 to 10 o'clock, you have practice, and then after that, you have like an hour break, and then you play a game. So it's very, very tough, and it's 100 degrees out there. There's no fans, there's nobody there, and you're just out there playing. Like it's very, very tough. And I remember calling my dad a couple of times, like, Dad, I don't know if this is meant for me. I don't know. He's like, just stick with it. Like, just have faith. Just keep working. Like, you have a process, and stay with the process. Everything's gonna work out. I remember I just, I started clicking. I started hitting. I started, playing better, and I started like, wow, this is something I could do. And I just, I thanked him after that season. It was like, you really got me through that season because it was very, 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 very tough.
So that was your first year. Second year, you started at Delmarva, right here in the area. So obviously your family could go across the Bay Bridge out to Salisbury to see you play. What was that jump like, getting to low A ball?
That jump was actually probably the biggest jump I've had. Just going from GCL and skipping 2 levels to go to Delmarva. And Delmarva, you're on the bus for 9 hours. You're going from here to, Augusta, Georgia is 15 hours. You're going to Charleston, South Carolina. And it's just, finding out that daily process you need, that you have to go through, that daily routine that you have to go through to get yourself ready to mentally prepared to play. And that's the main thing. Baseball, it's a big mental game, really big mental sport. And, if you're not mentally into it, you're not going to play well. So I remember that first year, it was very tough on me because I was 19 years old, traveling around, didn't know what to do, didn't know. It was my first full season, play 140-something games. And, my dad had actually had a stroke that year. And my mom, her cancer actually got worse, and it was very, very tough on me. And I remember that year in Delmarva, I was struggling. I was like, Lord, just get me out of Delmarva. I hope I just get me out of Delmarva. And, just playing that season, it really helped me out tremendously and mentally. That was really the year I figured out, and grew mentally.
That's what you were talking about, the mental game, being a young kid, getting that mental prowess to be able to go out and play every day and so forth. And you get through Delmarva, then you get to Frederick, high A ball, and from what I understand, Frederick, that league is very competitive.
Very, very tough because it's only 8 teams in that league, and you play each team so many times that they figure out, well, he can't hit an inside fastball, it's still inside fastballs, and he can't hit a slider away, so we'll throw him sliders away. And, you play those teams so many times that they figure you out, and there's so many good organizations in that league. You got the Royals who have good prospects, the Indians who have good prospects. You got the Red Sox. They're always, everyone knows the Red Sox. So it's definitely you see some great players throughout that whole league. And if you're not ready to play, you will get exposed in that league.
My question is, you guys play so many games, and you touched on it a little bit with the Gulf Coast League, where you practice in the morning. But once you get to these minor leagues, you show up at like 3:45, 4 o'clock, and then you play at night. How do you actually work on if you can hit that outside pitch, or you have to be able to get that inside bunt down, but you can't do it all that often? When do you find time to work on that?
You get to the stadium at 1 o'clock, not 3:45. That's the extra work you have to put in. You get there at 1 o'clock. You go outside with the coach, or you have a coach set up a pitching machine, something like that, and you work on that pitch. Work on that pitch until you'll probably work on it for a week, 2 weeks, and that 3rd, 4th week you start to click in. You start to hit that inside fastball, or you have curveball machines. You can set that curveball machine up and you can start hitting it. So that's the extra work you have to put in. It's in professional baseball. It's all on you. There's no coach out there that's going to say, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that." No, you have to go. You have to take the initiative because you're a grown man. You go to the coach and say, "I need to work on this. I'm struggling with this, and I'm struggling with that. I need your help."
When you got to Frederick, did it get easier mentally?
Definitely did. Definitely did. Because I was actually at home. I had more control of things at home, and I was able to be around my family a lot more. And they were at my games every night, driving from Bowie. So it was just a 45-minute drive, and they were coming to the games. My grandparents were coming from West Virginia, they lived in Charlestown, which is another 45 minutes away. So they were coming down. So I remember I used to have 20, 30 fans in the stands, and just having that support system there was something I really, really needed.
Okay, so when we come back from break, from Frederick you came to Bowie, that had to be outstanding, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about LJ going from Bowie to Norfolk and then finally to the big leagues and the Orioles making the playoffs and all that stuff. So stay tuned. We'll be back right after these messages.